Welcome back, PGF fans, grappling fans, jiu-jitsu fans, fans of sports. We are here again at the Egghead Scramble podcast, and I have, two really treats for you. One, somebody we've been wanting to work into, as a co-host on this podcast. Somebody that has the gift of gab, somebody that knows all about the jiu-jitsu scene, somebody that, honestly, we would not have the Wolverines without. He was the first guy that hopped on that believed in us, and then he somehow wrangled all of our sponsors that helped pay for the season. So I'd like to introduce you to our new co-host, Donald Rosenau. Or the black space that could hypothetically be Donald.
Let's see here, buddy. It says camera access not granted. Hold on, let me do this. Let me see if this will fix it.
He is here for his jiu-jitsu knowledge, his gift of gab, his ability to sell, not his audio-visual capabilities. That's
Hey, can you hear me though?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Funny. It's like I honestly, like 30 seconds ago, all good. He was ready.
Yeah.
Producer CJ, come on, buddy.
I think it just might be a granting. Here, let's see.
All right. Well, this is actually really funny.
Well, we don't need to see me anyway, brother. It's a pleasure to be on here with you. Whenever CJ can fix the camera, I'll show my smiling bald face. But yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited to do this with you.
Here we go. Maybe I got it.
Can you leave the stream real quick and then come back?
Okay, leave.
CJ just said the IT guy, restart your computer.
Let's see if this will work.
I'm sorry, Cody, brother. This is amazing.
It's okay. I can be the man in black for this one. There we go.
All right. Well, are you on your phone?
I am.
Do you have a laptop?
No.
Do you have a desktop?
Start a new window. Like, exit out of the window, click on the link, open a new window.
Okay.
Sorry.
I mean, this is how we are true professionals here. We we've done this so many times. Hey, there we go. I think we got him. Come on.
Hey-o.
All right. There we go. Okay. So, as promised, Donald is here. Say hello to the peoples.
Hey, people.
There we go. Exactly the right answer. So really pumped. Again, hey, brother, thank you so much. I haven't said enough online and live to the people, but seriously, without you, we would not be here. And, without you, I would not be in Colorado in 2 months as you moved me there. So, integral integrity movie.
Hey, Egghead, I'm just happy to help, pumped to be a part of this, and just pumped to keep growing and moving forward with you, brother.
All right, and excited to have Donald as a part of this, but now we actually have our true special guest. Not your special too, Donald. Do love you, but the man of the hour, the man that we've advertised, Cody Donovan from High Altitude Martial Arts, or HAMA. There he is.
What's up? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, super excited, man. Super excited. After the PGF draft this last season, CJ and I flew out because obviously I'm still stationed at Camp Pendleton, so close to retirement. Pumped to get back home. And one of the places we had to hit, we knew, was High Altitude Martial Arts, your gym there. And man, the open mat was wild. It's so amazing. It's so welcoming. it's just emblematic of Colorado Jiu-Jitsu, about everyone coming together in such just a beautiful way. So thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. That dude, I think you're talking about that Saturday open match, right?
Yeah.
When you guys came in. Yeah, dude, we've worked hard. It's just every Saturday, everybody's invited. It's great, dude. That's my favorite session by far.
And so Donald was telling me, and we'll just go right to the recent news. Might as well hit it up first because it's really cool. You just took 22 kids to a Naga and had some amazing results.
Yeah, man. So Riley, you guys know Riley Golden, right? He runs our youth program, and him and all of those coaches, I was down there as well, but they brought the youth competitors down there, 22 kids. They won 20 gold medals. I mean, just crushed it. It was amazing. Really, really, really good matches. That group's been active, and it's just really cool to watch their skill development. And it was my daughter's first time winning gold. She's 10 years old, and yeah, she had pretty, some tough matches, and won that gold belt. You know how Naga does like the cool little things for the kids. She got one of those little gold mini belts, and yeah, it was cool, man. It was great. I was super nervous during the, cornering her. It felt bigger than just a kids match or something, but yeah, it was pretty special.
Yeah, that's huge, man. I mean, Donald and I are both, girl dads as well, and just supporting them and seeing them succeed. Honestly, at everything and anything they do, when you see that success, it means the world to you. My daughter's, we did her a little bit of jiu-jitsu back in Charlottesville, but she decided she wasn't for her, so she's a volleyball kid, which is like,
Cool.
it's like football here in SoCal, like Texas football and SoCal volleyball is like Friday Night Lights. Everything revolves around these things.
Yeah.
Just, man, congrats! Just because I know that meant the world to you. I know it, and I can only imagine.
It did, dude. And I was cool with how the way she handled it. She was just so cool. She didn't, yeah, she didn't make it too big. She didn't make it too small. She was just like, yeah, got 2 submission finishes, and it's cool, man. Super proud of her. I was telling Donald earlier that the nerves I was feeling right before her competing were on par with like coaching Alistair Overeem in a sold out Russian arena in where were we? St. Petersburg. Like, obviously a much smaller thing, but inside, dude, it felt the same. I was like, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome, man. So Donald, hop in here, man. I mean, you know more about Colorado Jiu-Jitsu than I do. So give us some questions, give us your thoughts, man.
Oh, I don't even think that we should segue into jiu-jitsu. I think Cody just gave us a nice layup. So being comparable to coaching and cornering Alistair Overeem, will you go ahead and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Other fighters you've coached, where you've been with that, your own fighting experience. I mean, there's a treasure trove of information we learned from Cody here.
Yeah, I stepped away from fighting in 2014. My body was just trashed, and I think Joe Silva, that was my boss at the UFC, was Joe Silva, and he said that my durability was in question, right? And I got cut. He gave me the option to go. I could go win 3 fights and get back, or I could move on. And they were pretty gracious to me. They didn't say I got cut. They said I retired, which was cool. That was kind of a little favor to me. And then, man, I went right into coaching. Back then, we were at the Muscle Farm facility. That's where Elevation Fight Team. We had that special deal with them, and it was a pretty sweet gig, man. All of the coaches were getting paid salaries, and then we just had this squad of fighters, and you know how that goes. Like if you have a good room, it attracts more. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't take long before our entire coaching staff was very busy. Yeah. So
where was this, Cody?
That was in Denver. The Muscle Farm facility was in Stapleton, and Leicester Bowling arranged all that. So Leicester Bowling was one of the founders of Elevation Fight Team. He was my wrestling coach when I was fighting. Him, Elliot Marshall, a couple other guys, kind of they put that whole thing together. And yeah, man, it was a sweet deal. I don't know if you ever saw that facility, but it was incredible. You know, this just massive warehouse, free supplements. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. Um, yeah, so just got into coaching there. I guess if I was going to lead into Alistair, I would say while at Muscle Farm, I was coaching a guy named Boyan who was fighting in the UFC. Boyan was a phenomenal fighter, and Boyan had a fight in Zagreb, Croatia, and that night Curtis Blades fought Francis Ngannou. Right, Curtis's first fight in the UFC. So I met Curtis Blades out there. He ended up moving to Denver, and we started coaching him. And
Wow.
up to this point, I think I've done about 20 fights with Curtis, but one of those fights was Alistair Overeem. And obviously we whooped Alistair's ass that night, but Alistair came immediately to us. He called and he was like, "Yo, I'm switching teams. I'm coming to Denver." And that was a hell of an experience, man. I did 7 fights with Alistair and almost had some like I almost felt like a fraud a little bit, bro. Like when I was coming up and fighting, I remember like looking up to Alistair. Dude, I was a nighttime security guard at the hospital, and I almost got fired from that job because we snuck into this doctor's office and got the internet turned on, and we were watching Alistair fight live in Japan. And then you
Yeah.
fast forward, and I'm his head coach. It just like I had some like I would have these moments of imposter syndrome, but I also would have these moments where I'm like, dude, I know my shit. Like, you know, when we're out there coaching against the top coaches, I know we're good. I know we know our shit. But yeah, coaching Alistair was a really special thing. You get these little. It was just this little short window, man. But it was beautiful. I was really glad I got to experience that.
It's so wild, man. I mean, so like, here's a funny tie-in. Maybe interesting, maybe not. CJ's grandfather, my father-in-law, was the lead developer for the Stapleton project, developing that old Stapleton
Okay.
airport into like what it is now.
Okay.
So it's again just a weird tie-in when you say that word. That
Yeah.
means something to me. It's like, oh my god, wow. And if I
Yeah,
didn't get to see it,
that's a cool area, bro. If
yeah,
when you're in Colorado, go check that out. They did an incredible job, man. They turned that old airport into a pretty happening place. Yeah,
yes,
That's where Muscle Farm was. They bought this big warehouse, and we felt so cool. We'd come up to the wall. We had our own little passcodes to get in the door, and I mean, it was just on another level, man. But like a lot of things, maybe you don't know how great it is until it's gone. Like that relationship moved on, and we took the fight team and moved it back into our gyms, and that was great too. That fight team kind of hopped around from gym to gym, and um, yeah, a lot of great experiences, a lot of great memories out of that. I mean, look, for me, like I wasn't a great fighter by any means, but I got the experience of being on or being part of multiple professional fight teams when they were the number one team in the world. Right? Like I trained at Jackson's MMA when it was Jackson's. I trained at TriStar when GSP was, the reigning champ. I trained at Grudge, the Grudge back in the day when, I mean, there was a good year there where Grudge was unstoppable, and then being a coach with the Elevation Fight Team, it's a lot of yeah, I don't know, just a lot of blessings, man. I don't know how much I had to do with any of that, but I was in the room, and what a cool thing to be a part of. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it sounds like I mean, you've coached and cornered a who's who of UFC fighters and promotions beyond.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular moment that stands out to you, like just as like an incredible memory or something?
I mean, most recently that the Blades Hokit fight was an incredible experience.
What a banger!
Dude, it was wild, man, and just a really special thing to be a part of. Those kind of fights are rare, obviously, right? And you don't necessarily want your guy to go get in those wars. We only get so many of those, but when they happen and you're part of it, it feels like you are just on the tip of the needle. I mean, the whole world was talking about that fight. And that was my personal experience. I was there. I fist bumped Donald Trump that night. He was sitting right behind me. You know what I mean? I mean, it was an intense night. And yeah, super proud of Curtis. You know, just what an intense one. If I had to pick, oh man, I've had so many. The UFC has blessed me so much, man. We've just been all over the place, but yeah, that Curtis one was pretty special. You know what? Outside of the UFC, there was you guys familiar with Karate Combat League?
Yeah.
Sure.
So I had a heavyweight named Zach who he was in their heavyweight tournament. And dude, that was an intense experience, man. Watching him fight multiple people in one night, just the way the damage of the fights was like adding up. They brought him in because they didn't think he was gonna. They didn't know. They didn't know what we knew. You know, they thought that he was gonna go in there and get served up. He goes in there and knocks out their number one seeded guy in the first round.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, that was just like, it felt like we were in the movie Bloodsport or something. So I think if I had more time to think about it, I might come up with something better. But I think that tournament was insane, dude. Just to be part of that, you know, and it's a Karate Combat League. It's kind of, you know, the league's not, you know, is what it is, but crazy, you know.
Well, maybe we should back up a little bit, though.
Sure.
I mean, because obviously you've been to the heights of all martial arts. How did martial arts start for you?
Yeah. So I saw Hoist Gracie on a VHS tape, like a lot of us did, right? We went to Hollywood Video and we got this VHS tape, and we had to hide it, dude. You know, because if my buddy's parents knew we were watching this, you know, human cockfighting, we were gonna get in trouble or something, man. So we were like watching it in his basement. This is like 1994, and then we're in the backyard, like trying to mimic like triangle chokes and rear naked chokes and all this. And a couple years later, I'm in high school. So you fast forward, it's like 1996, probably the year of 96, 97. And there are two guys at my high school who are blue belts, like legit blue belts in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, which is what it was called back then, right? And you got to figure in like 96 in Colorado, you have David Ruiz and Amal Easton. Those are your only connections to Jiu-Jitsu. There isn't anything else, right? Amal's a purple belt all the way up in Boulder, and David Ruiz is a purple belt in Littleton, right? So I get a little bit of access a couple times a week to some of his guys, and I would say that's when I started training jiu-jitsu. You know, obviously we were just like we were learning triangle chokes and rear naked chokes and a little bit of positional awareness or something. But then like 99-ish, I have a job now and I can drive over there. So I'm driving to Colorado Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It was David Ruiz and it was a guy named Brad Gum. And at this point, Dave's a brown belt, Brad's a purple belt. And you got to understand, like, purple belts might be a dime a dozen now, but dude, back then, a purple belt was like a unicorn. Like, they did, you know, I was like, that guy's a purple belt, right? And yeah, so I trained with those guys for a while. I took a long break in college, probably about 2.5 years. I didn't train any jujitsu, and I was living up in Boulder and just kind of lost in that whole scene, you know, drinking too much and having fun. And I had like a serious girlfriend and all this, you know. I lived like a mile away from Easton Jiu-Jitsu and never walked in the door. You know, I always wished I would have, but yeah, then kind of all that came to an end, and I moved back to Denver and needed to get back into something. And Nathan Marquardt was one of the first guys I met. One of my buddies was like, you know, you should come train over here. Nate's a world champion. You know, he fights in Pancrase and all this. And I had no idea who he was, but I went in there and I hit it off with him. And this would have been like real early 2000s, probably 2003, something like that, maybe a little bit earlier. And I just hit it off with Nate and never stopped training. I became Nate's student. Nate introduced me to mixed martial arts. He brought me down to Albuquerque one time. So you guys remember the fighter Keith Jardine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the Dean Amin. So Keith had a fight coming up, and they just needed some guys that weighed, you know, about 220 it was a 205er, but they needed me and a few other guys. And I went down to Albuquerque, and these guys beat the hell out of me. And at this time, I'm pretty like I'm a purple belt who's winning the local tournaments, but I'm just a jujitsu guy. And I go down there, and these guys beat the hell out of me, dude. And it's an 8-hour drive back to Denver. And on that drive, I made up my mind. I was like, I'm quitting my job. I'm not doing anything else. I just want to get good at fighting, you know. And that's what I did. And then you know, the early MMA scene in Denver, just the whole martial arts scene in Denver looked a lot different back then, right? Like you had Amal and all of his guys up in Boulder, right? You had Sheldon Marr had a group of guys at Grappler's Edge, right? And then you had Nate Marquardt and his guys. Well, all of these teams came together around a guy named Trevor Whitman, right? Because Trevor was like this legit striking coach. So you got Dwayne Ludwig, Elliot Marshall, Tyler Toner, those guys are coming down from Boulder, and then you got like me, Christian Allen, a bunch of these guys coming with Nate, and it was the beginning of this fight team, right? This little fight team out of a boxing gym called T's KO, and that little room, and you know, maybe I'll send you guys some pictures of that later, but that little room of about 10 guys, you know, through Nathan Marquardt, we created this relationship with Jacksons and this relationship with TriStar, and dude, I had no idea how good I had it. Like I thought that everybody that was learning MMA was training with these great MMA fighters. I mean, some of my first training partners were like literally Rashad Evans and these guys who were just absolute legends, you know. And yeah, and I got to train under these really great minds. Greg in particular, but Trevor, Leister Bowling, Amal, uh, Elliot, Faraz Sahabi, just you know, the list goes on and on and on. But just these really, really great minds of mixed martial arts, and um, yeah, does that make sense? I think that's one of the reasons why our team has stayed so far ahead of the curve is because I'll travel, or even when I went to the UFC Coaches Summit, and I'm not trying to shit on these guys, but I listened to the way the other coaches were thinking about MMA, and just the way they were thinking about it was the way we thought about it 10 years ago. Like we've just been so far ahead. And you know, like let's take leg riding, for instance. We were leg riding. There was a time in history where us and a gym in California full of Russians was the only two places that even understood the concept of leg riding, right? And then, you know, you watch this evolution in jujitsu where like leg riding is a good natural response to shutting down entanglements, right? Um, so the sport evolves and catches up, and now it's this huge thing. And Craig Jones puts out this great series on riding the legs, and he's a genius, and his terminology is better than any of the terminology we ever had. But we were still doing that shit 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's really cool. Just the blessings that came along on that journey. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're talking about all the people that I learned jiu-jitsu from online on YouTube University. I mean, all those people that you'd search out because they have the truth. And it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. This video is changing my world.
Yeah.
And that was just your life. That was your real life. It was like in person with these people.
Yeah, and look, dude, there's a sacrifice to having that life. Like I couldn't hold a job.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole collection of ladies who do not think I'm a great man because of the type of boyfriend that I would have been back then. Like I was just a selfish asshole, right? Like I would drop if I found out that Rashad and Nate had already booked their tickets to Montreal, I would, you know, beg, cheat, and steal to get my ticket to get to Montreal because I wasn't going to miss out on that camp. You know what I mean? I was like, whatever it was going to take, whatever couch I had to sleep on, whatever, it didn't matter. Like all you had to be was in those rooms, and I somehow finagled my way into every room there was back then, you know, or at least those rooms. And yeah, and it was great, man. It was great. It didn't necessarily lead to a great, like I wanted to be a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I was a fighter. I was a fighter, and on the regional scene, I was like damn near undefeated. But you get to this point, especially back then, where it was like a combination of opportunities missed, You know, maybe I'm going to get paid more as a sparring partner if I travel this month than I am from this little regional, podunk fight. And I want to be in that room anyway. So I take that. Time goes by without fights, then an injury, then a surgery, and then there was a point where it was also like really hard to get fights because, if you're fighting somebody on a regional scene, and you got a decent record, but then they look you up and all your pics, I'm taking pictures with guys that these guys think are like superstars, and these are the dudes I like live with. You know what I mean? And that made it really, it just got really difficult. And then by the time that I actually got the call, dude, I was kind of like, I was ready to walk away. I was like done already. I was ready to move into coaching. I had a lot of ideas about business. Nate Marquardt owned high altitude martial arts, and the gym wasn't doing well. And it needed some love and some care and it needed somebody in there every day, like grinding.
Mhm.
And I believed that person was me, but then also, you know, it's hard to do both those things. You know what I'm saying?
Which call was that, Cody?
The
You said when you
UFC
got the
call.
call.
Yeah, the UFC call. Yeah, yeah. I was walking on a grocery store and I get a phone call from Brian Hampers. Brian Hampers he managed me for a long time. He managed like Cowboy and a bunch of us, and um he calls me and he's like, "Hey, I got a fight. We got a new fight." And I was like, "Wow, I already had a fight. I was already in camp." I was like, "A different fight?" He's like, "Yeah, it's sooner. How much do you weigh?" And I was like, 235. And he's like, "Oof, all right. You think you can make 206?" And I was like, "Well, how much time do I got?" He's like, 7 days. I'm like, 7 days? And he's like, "Yeah, because you lose a day on the way there." I'm like, "Where am I going?" He's like, "Australia." And I'm like, "Australia? What organization is this?" And then he just said, "Are you sitting down?" And I go, "Shut the fuck up. Are you?" I go, Yes, yes." He's like, "Yeah, man. UFC said if you'll come fight this dude, it was 9 days away, right? But you like lose a day and all this. If I come fight this heavyweight guy, Nick Penner, if I'll fight him at 206, um, in Australia, then they'll give me a contract." And like you don't say no, you know what I mean? So I just had this hellacious weight cut, dude, and it was brutal. I remember it was me and Elliot out there in Australia, and dude, I mean, I don't even know how I made weight, but the fight starts. Well, first of all, the fight's at 7 o'clock in the morning because I'm the first fight on the undercard in Australia, and it's like, different time zone and all that. So we wake up at 5 a.m. and I remember just like sitting on the beach and I'm praying and I'm watching the sun come up, on that Gold Coast. And yeah, I get in there and the first thing that Penner hits me with knocks me down because my brain just has no juice in it. And I remember I get up or something. He hits me again. Dude, I swear to God, the second time he hits me, I'm out. I'm knocked out, right? You can't even see it when you watch the fight. But I remember like falling into like soft pillows. And I'm just like, oh, it's like so peaceful. And somebody's like knocking on the door. And I'm like, what are you doing? Who's bothering me? What's it? The door is my head. He's hitting it, right? And I remember just like my subconscious is like, you're in Australia and you're getting your ass kicked. And then I just like snap out of it and I get up and I knock him out and I win a bonus. And dude, talk about a life-changing experience. Like I've said this to other people, but when I flew to Australia, my checking account was overdrafted. Like I had no money. I was like negative $17 or something. And then I flew home with a fight of the night bonus, which they gave me, plus the show money and the win money. I came home with like 70 grand or something. And I thought I was a damn millionaire. It was crazy, bro.
Life-changing money.
Oh, dude. Yes, it was so good. That was a fun one though. Special time, But it also was, just I had to be realistic. Like, well, one is goal setting is a dangerous thing. Like, you have to set crazy high goals because at that point, my goal was like I gotta just be in the UFC. Like everybody, imagine there aren't that many UFC fighters in the world, right? But every room I was in was full of nothing but UFC fighters except me. So it almost made it feel like I wasn't legit or I wasn't real or something unless I earned that. So earning it and then earning it in that fashion felt great. But then what? Then I was there. and my body was dinged up, man. And yeah, it was rough. You know, I was in a few years, 4 fights, and I was an alternate once as well. And then that was it, you know? Yeah, that was it. I don't think I was supposed to be there. I think I was just supposed to, it lent me the credibility to do what I do now. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't doubt God, man. I think that God wrote the perfect story for me. Like, I wasn't supposed to be a UFC champion. You know, I was supposed to be on the other side of the fence. And um, yeah, that's where I belong. I'm really happy on the other side of the fence, you know?
I mean, I'd
Yeah.
say that you know, in the end, time is undefeated. You know,
Yeah.
we all get the miles on us. We all, you know, no matter what you're doing, whether being a Marine in the boots and your knees get destroyed, or being in the fight so long that just the punches, etc., they just mount up, and getting all the injuries happening, or just all of us, all of us as men. I mean, time takes a toll, and but it seems amazing that you already kind of like have that in your mind to say, you know what, I'm smarter than this. I think I can actually like you know, shepherd other people. I can improve other people, and that was a great transition.
Yeah. You know, I love coaching. I love coaching, right? And um, all of the mistakes that I made, and there were a ton, you know. I mean, I still make a ton of mistakes, but those mistakes, if they just stay mistakes, that sucks, man. But if I can take those and turn them into these lessons that take these other young men, like let's say Curtis Blades, for instance, right? I've done 20 fights, around 20 fights with Curtis, and that's been one of the most rewarding experiences of my entire life, you know. And sometimes when you're in these, you think you're going to have lots of them, right? But then as the time goes by, I'm 45 now, I understand there isn't going to be another one of those. Like the relationship and the experience that I got with him to go on the journey with this young man with so much skill and so much potential, to have a world title shot with him, to do all of the things that we did, so special, you know. The everybody that comes along for the ride, like, it takes a village to do all this, right? Like, um every one of these great fighters that I got to coach, I'm not the coach. There's like a few of us, right? And we're all, the fighter trusts us, and all of our ideas come together, and we build this beautiful thing. And you know, there's a story with Curtis that's really really special to me. And it's the second time that we fought Tom Aspinall, right? We fought him in for a title, right, in Manchester, and it was a short night. We didn't get to showcase anything, right? Curtis got clipped, fell to his belly, was kind of rocked, got up weird. Uh, Aspinall was on him. I'd say there's an argument that it was an early stoppage, but whatever, it is what it is, right? Um, that was it. And to me, I knew what we had produced that camp, like what as a coaching team, I knew the version of Curtis that we had been able to create, you know, wake up, tweak. It's uh, yeah, whatever, right? Like, you never know what you're going to get. And what we had that camp was so awesome. Everybody did their job. Everybody put the work in. Nobody took a shortcut. No corners were cut at all. And we had this like beautiful instrument of violence. And then guess what? Nobody got to see it. It was like, it's like painting a masterpiece, and then before you show it to anybody, you just light it on fire. That's what it felt like. It was insane, dude. I've had that experience a few times, but that one in particular, it just showed me how special it is. Like, there's like five of us that know what happened that night or that morning, and what, you know, the full story, what we had and how special it was. And yeah, you know, the coaching career is just full of those moments. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Donald,
yeah. I don't even know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, that's yeah.
No, I thought that was really awesome, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. I had a question I was just curious about as well to see what your take is on it. It's how has your perspective of fighting changed from when you were an active fighter to now being on the other side of the fence as a coach?
Yeah, I see it a lot. I see it through a different. It's a lot simpler to me, right? So one of the things that we've done, me and Vinny Lopez and a few of these other coaches, is we have worked really hard at building an MMA system that simplifies MMA, right? Like I don't look at MMA, I don't look at it as this big complicated thing. Like when I was fighting, it was like I had my wrestling, I had my ground game, I had my striking. It was like these separate things, and it was up to me to put them together. And we've developed a system that is where based, like where, when, what, right? And we measure where through range, angle, and level. And I believe that those are the only three factors that change in regards to where. And it doesn't matter if it's stand up, if it's on the floor, if it's on the wall. Oftentimes where determines the weapons, right? So your weapons are determined by range, not by position, right? So you can list every jujitsu position there is, and I'm going to ask you what that range is. And once we define range, and let's say we use range as a term of measurement from trunk to trunk, how much space is in between my trunk and your trunk, that's going to determine your weapons, right? So that becomes a really beautiful thing, because no matter where we go, standing up, on the floor, against the wall, whatever, there's going to be this commonality. You're going to share these weapons, right? So um, that's the big thing for me is MMA is it's just so much simpler. Like I get to work with some like Navy SEALs and some Green Berets and some Air Marshals, and I teach them versions of this system that's like, for them. So it's not MMA, but it's fighting for them. And it's the same thing. It's like, it's just so much simpler to me now than it was back then. And I don't know. I think that's just a natural process of, I think that's what happens with your life's work, right? You think about something long enough, you put enough time in, you keep connecting the dots, and it eventually, that's what happens. To the point where now we get fighters who visit us from far away, and they'll seek me out for wall fighting, and I will level up their wall fighting in a month. I'm confident, I will, especially if you have a wrestling background, a grappling background, something like that. I can teach you how to wall fight with the very best of them in short time, because it's not complicated. I don't know. Does that make sense? So it's just all getting a lot simpler to me. Plus, it's a unique sport now, right? It's not back then. I mean, there's an argument to say that I got into MMA when it was still a little bit of like testing martial arts. Like, they still they'll still do a thing where they'll say this man is a freestyle fighter or this man is a jujitsu fighter and all that. But I think that's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like as a matter of fact, if they say that, if they say this man is and they list it, to me that almost like highlights a weakness more than anything else. You know what I mean?
It just sounds like so many times I've heard about like black belts, like people, they start out with like the basics type of things, like you said, the triangle, the armbar, etc. And as you build up your belts, you learn so many different techniques, and then you hit that black belt, and now you're back to the armbar and triangle, just really wickedly good and knowing exactly when to use them, and just like understanding it all. So it's like you said, so it becomes almost simple because you've just seen it so much, like the clouds part, and you see the sky for what it is. And JB, one of our biggest fans and supporters here, is like, I'm with you, JB. You need to, holy crap, Cody, you need to write a book, man. Whether it be like freaking, get somebody as a ghost author or whatever, man. But holy Jiminy, this is amazing.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Dude, it's funny how like it's these weird little moments when the clouds part, like you just said. I know the moment that our system, I would say me and Vinny Lopez share share this system together. We both, contribute to it, and others as well. The fighters contribute, obviously. Like we work on something, we go test it on TV at the highest level. You're going to get data back, and then the data, you make your adjustments and stuff. But I remember the exact moment where during COVID, we had about 30 fights where we were locked in this hotel in Las Vegas, right? I don't know if you guys remember that hotel, but it was this like crappy hotel that they stuck all of us in and you weren't allowed to leave, right? And it actually, some of my best memories in coaching now are in the quarantine hotel. It was actually a really special time in history. But there was a swimming pool and a barbecue stuck outside in the courtyard. And Curtis Blades had just beat somebody up. And Vinny and I came back there and we were cooking ribeyes and eating edibles. And we're just sitting there talking. And it just, you know, we started to like be like, dude, this is just like this, which is just like this. Like, oh my God. And we just started like, you know, going and like that's when like the floodgates opened on a lot of these ideas and we test it, you know. That's the big thing. If you have ideas like this and you're not testing them, then who knows? But if you're testing it and you're getting back data and you're making the right adjustments and you're skeptical, you know, then yeah. Does that make sense?
I
100%.
Phil. I mean, I'd say I think I didn't. Well, I would say that unfortunately with the Wolverines last season, because I have a day job, so I basically had to come in for like 28 hours. CJ did warn us that if you say the Wolverines,
He did.
We'll get that.
He did.
So thank you, CJ. But you know, I felt a little bit of that. You know, we had our you know, our fire pit and having the guys that were just living the life for weeks together, and you know, they get there and I'd always be there, you know, because I cook steaks every night after we have a big match night. Because that's like I asked them first, like Marines, you know, before you go to battle, you get steak and lobster. I told them I'm not cooking lobster. Sorry guys, I don't know how to do that. I got steaks and I grill for you, but I can do that either night before or night of. And they said you want to do it night of, you know, earn it. So I was always there, you know, helping cook that stuff. You know, some guys helped cook the steaks too, but anyways, I saw them break down things, people from so many different backgrounds, and you know, I'm not gonna say they were doing edibles. They did other things that I'm not allowed to do because of UCMJ. It was all over, but you know, but again, that amazing thing of like seeing all these guys with these different perspectives, like seeing the light bulb turn on, was just freaking beautiful. And so yes, I completely get it. I mean, I you know, it wasn't maybe it wasn't to the level of like the system that you've built, but again, I just love those guys all coming from different backgrounds and sharing what they had and their perspectives and viewpoints and making something new or making some new connections for each other. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. That's one of the most special things about martial arts, man. And there are martial arts rooms where that's not happening, but I don't want to be in any of those rooms. I want to be in the rooms where nobody cares where you came from. Nobody cares about any of that. Like they care about sharing the knowledge and you know what I mean? Like I've been in some rooms where if I were to ask the professor a question, he'd try to sell me a private lesson or something, you know, like I don't ever want to have anything like if I know it and you want it, it's yours. And hopefully you use it and make it better and share it back to me. So you know what I mean? Like that's the goal, man. And I mean, that's what all these guys are doing on Saturdays at that mat that you were talking about, right? It's like everybody's just getting in there from all those different backgrounds and just beating each other up and sharing. And what a special thing we have in combat sports. People outside of our people that aren't like us, right? That are outside of that, they don't get it, right? They don't understand that, like, what a weird thing, you know. Maybe I'm having a rough day and I show up on that Saturday, and if you guys aren't there to like beat me up or test me or push me, I don't get better. And maybe you're having a bad day and you don't even want to be there, you know what I mean? But you show up and iron sharpens iron, and it's just, you know, even after 30 years of jiu-jitsu, it just never gets old to me. It's so special, dude, you know.
And so many people have that same viewpoint of just that giving, that brotherhood that you have. And I'll tell you, I mean, obviously before about the team, being a commentator for 5 years of the PGF, and just mind blown about like seeing all these, like, you know, Mount Rushmore of jiu-jitsu come through that place, you know, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know, wait, I was just talking to Hoist. Oh my God, I was just talking to Hoist. Or like, you know, having Sam after he got his two kills that last night, and we're talking about the hand placement. So like, so you get that can crusher, you know, Mars, and I mean, I saw the video of him, you know, he's talking about the hand, what's there, and it's like, oh my God, this, this is the person that taught the person that taught the person that taught me, and I sought out online just so I could get a little bit of that, and now we're talking and we're texting back and forth, and it's like, but there's no errors. There's just like you said, there's just, I have knowledge and I'm gonna give it to you, and we're gonna share each other, and it's like it's freaking beautiful. I mean, that's like one of the best things I've ever been a part of. Period.
Yeah, one of the things that I found is when you meet your heroes in martial arts, they're just like you. They're just a dude. Like they're not, you know what I mean? You might, I don't know. I don't meet movie stars or any of that stuff. But when I meet these legendary fighters, they're just dudes. They're just dudes like us, man. They're just dudes that did it really well and or had the right opportunity or whatever. You know, we're all, yeah, we're all the same, man. It's pretty special.
Sorry, Donald, I haven't let you have much time in here, so get at it, brother.
Oh no, man! I've just been enjoying the conversation. And Cody, that was pure gold. You know, even just for jujitsu, I love the thing you were talking about range. And then, of course, my ADHD mind started going off. I was like, "Well, wait, that makes a lot of sense. I could use these moves from here and these moves from here." I mean, it's just fascinating stuff, man. And I just totally agree on the stuff you're talking about. Like, I've never went to a high altitude martial arts open mat and left in a bad mood.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I've also never left worse at jujitsu, and most of the time the inverse is true. It's such a great community center, and it was something I was talking to Egghead about. And that's a good pivot for us going towards the whole jujitsu thing we're going to talk about, your gym, the Colorado Wolverines. But as HAMA really being a hub for the community, man. I mean, it's by far, I'd say, probably the largest open mat
Yeah.
in the city. I mean, probably very few other contenders, but I mean, just the vast amount of people that you get from all over the state that come down to it, and the information that's shared, and for being known for having such tough MMA fighters. It's not a room you're going to go in and get injured either. People are smart. They're not generally training with an ego, per se. People are in there training to get better. And
I mean,
that's
I
cool.
think, Nate Marquardt hasn't been around high altitude for a long time, right? I bought him out in 2014, and I don't think he's ever been back, but there are still like ghosts of him in the room, and that's one of them, right? Is like lions don't have to tell everyone they're a lion. Like you don't have to have some chip on your shoulder, some attitude, and the real ones in that I like, every once in a while you're gonna have some rough dudes, but all the real ones that I ever met were great training partners, right? George St. Pierre was a good training partner. George St. Pierre was a good dude. George St. Pierre stayed late and helped people. George St. Pierre learned people's names. You know what I'm saying? Like there were some of those early role models. I hope that high altitude never changes. And high altitude's had some ups and downs, dude. Like there's been some partners I had to split with, instructors I loved that I had to cut loose. I mean, the martial arts community, and there are things that happen, especially right now in jujitsu gyms, misconduct with ladies, things like that. And like you got to be a real, like I have to like I got to watch. I have to keep a constant eye on the culture, and then what a strange thing that becomes, right? Like you first start martial arts, all you want to do is learn martial arts. You want to learn moves. You want to be good at martial arts. Then you reach this point where you're like a practitioner, right? You're out there using it. You're like putting it on people, right? And then you become a coach, and your job is to like foster the youngsters and bring the best out of the knights to make sure that they're razor sharp and that they, you know, believe in themselves and help them understand all their tools. But I'm finding there's even this other level where you're like, now my job is to like foster the community in which all of that is going to take place. And that I don't know that I necessarily signed up for that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is now, dude. And I've had to make, I mean, I don't want to get into any details, but just in the last few years, I've had to make some very tough choices. and like burn some bridges and hurt some people to be like, dude, you don't get to be here anymore. And because that room in that community is so important to me, and it's bigger than me. It doesn't belong to me. It's not mine. You know, it's like there's 1,000 people in there, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's tough, dude. Yeah. I can't say that I necessarily enjoy that part of it, but I believe it's like a serious responsibility, and I don't know who else is going to do it. You know? Does that make sense?
It's essential.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Brandon McCatherine, the commissioner, says this all the time. I think it's Pete Drucker. I think that's his name. Is the guy that came up with this quote. But it's culture eats strategy for breakfast, and Brandon loves that, and it's true. I mean, I've said a lot of business and leadership, just being a leader in the Marine Corps, and it's 100% right. I mean, like you said, you didn't think you were signing up for that, but you realize that's the essential thing. Is that like once you kind of like elevated yourself, you've seen all the other things. It's like now it's your time that you know how it needs to be, and if not you, then who? And that's the problem. Like you have to be that person that's seen all the stuff, that knows how it should be, and that supervision is the most important troop leading step. And it can be rough. It's not as much fun, but it's essential. Period.
Yeah, and when like I'm not the guy. Like I'm not the hammer anymore. Avery's the hammer, right? Avery's the hammer, or other people in there. Like we have a very awesome team at high altitude. You know all those guys, dude. Like,
Oh yeah.
Valor is awesome, right? Avery is all. I don't want to go through names because I'll miss a name, but dude, these guys are awesome. You know what I mean?
But we're going to quiz you later, so get ready.
Yeah, but imagine what happens if I'm not willing to step out of the way and let Avery be Avery. Imagine what happens there. If I'm like, no, I'm the man. No, if I'm in there like trying to be the big dog, like I'm not the big dog. First of all, Avery will whoop my ass, at jiu-jitsu. And when he steps in to that role, I get to step back to this other one, and even if I don't want it, it's like it's just this kind of beautiful thing that unfolds if you let it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I think that's a great segue too. You were talking about some of the names, and I think in this way we could do it without you having to feel guilty. The Colorado Wolverines is having another season coming.
He warned you, Donald.
Yeah.
We're having another season coming up, and actually we're going to throw a qualifier here pretty soon. We don't have a set date yet, but this season's going to be a little different. There's going to be it's 5 weight classes, right, Egg?
Yep.
Okay.
145, 155, 170, 185, and 205. And in the way that it's a little bit weird in the PGF, you get a 2-pound allowance, and you got to weigh that first weight like a day before your first match. But then after that, a little bit of grace, they let you go bigger,
Sure.
But you can't go past the next weight class. So if you're 185 you got to weigh in 187, day before your first match. But then you cannot weigh more than 204, so you can't actually hit that next weight class. Mm-hmm. But you have to do that the day of every subsequent week for the 5 weeks.
I know we'll have some names for you. I mean, I'll hit up Avery on this and get even more. But off the top of my head, we should see if Avery can make that 185. We should look at John Gomez. We should look at Riley. We got a handful of little guys at 145. Some of them are 135ers, but yeah. I got some guys and some gals that would love to come give it a shot for sure.
Well, here's the thing that people don't know too. Obviously, we couldn't have you on here and not like talk about that legendary career, in coaching and MMA and stuff. But I mean, what we didn't really, I guess, like highlight or lead people to believe is that HAMA's actually got some incredible jiu-jitsu competitors and practitioners. Caleb Crump, Avery Blade, both killed it at trials here very recently. Riley Golden as well. I mean, it's just some incredible jiu-jitsu people in there. And I can't imagine not seeing a couple of those names winning qualifiers coming up for the Wolverines. But HAMA, very, very good, and you see their names at all the largest tournaments in jiu-jitsu. So
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I mean, we're working really hard in there. We have, the way the business is structured is each of our programs has a department head, so a person that runs that program. Avery runs adult jiu-jitsu, right? Riley runs youth jiu-jitsu. Guillerme runs adult striking, and those guys are good leaders, man. They all have their own vision that aligns with my vision, and together we, try to help them do whatever whatever their goals are. Obviously, we want to compete at a high level. We know that, right? I believe in the gym business. If you want to have a successful gym business, it's like 90-10. It's like 10% competitors, 90% martial arts for lifestyle, right? Like lifelong students who are enriching their lives through the studying of martial arts, right? Which is a beautiful thing, and has like, let's say if we're listing the benefits, let's say there's 100 benefits there, where the benefits of competing is competing, But I mean, I don't ever want to have a gym that's not competitive. I'm not interested in that. You know what I mean? And yeah. And I know the success that you see in the jiu-jitsu program is so much of that is on Avery, on the type of room that he cultivates. If you come to High Altitude, you see all the classes that Avery teaches, but what you don't see is all the time that Avery gives to these guys. Like, let's take Caleb, for instance. I know for a fact. And look, Caleb is a competitor. So he is in a stage in his life where it's okay to be selfish, right? So it's okay to take, and Caleb takes, and Avery gives, and gives and gives and gives, right? And yeah, and I watch that dynamic, right? And that's part of it. There's like a selflessness to having, to like, for Caleb to be out there doing as well as he's doing. It doesn't happen without an Avery and all his training partners or whatever. So that's a special thing,
Oh no, I could co-sign that all day. You see Avery giving a ton of time. I don't even train at your gym, and Avery will always answer my questions, help me out before tournaments. Yeah, Avery's a really good dude, man.
And that's the thing that I saw in him that I liked. It wasn't the jiu-jitsu skill, which he has. It wasn't the physique, right? I was joking earlier. I said he looks like Donatello from the Ninja Turtles, right? He does. Like,
Yeah,
that's a compliment.
I don't know how he's gonna make 185. That guy's yoked. I mean, that's
jacked, bro.
Good Lord.
Man, if you're trying to sell a scary room, you want that guy standing at the front. But what I saw was how much he cared about people, and that's what I care about, right? Like if you want to have a successful gym, your students need to know that you care about them. That's it, right? They need to know that you care about them. You also have to have good jiu-jitsu. You also have to be a good teacher. You also have to have stage presence and charisma and be able to carry a room. But number one, they better know that you care about them, and nobody ever questions that around him. People know,
Cody, I love it. I mean, like that's like a tagline I've had for a long time, that caring is the 70% solution. So we talk about the 70% solution in the Marine Corps a lot, so much so that some of my students, I was a professor for 3 years at the Army JAG School, and they snuck in Care Bears into my damn office. And so this Marine with a as a freaking big pink Care Bear, and people are like, "What the hell is that?" Well, just that thing. If you care, that's number one. You establish that, and then everything flows. Everything flows.
That's right, bro.
That's beautiful, man.
That's right, man. Yeah.
Hey, and Cody, I think that's a good segue too. A big part of like what what we're trying to accomplish here, and why Egg started with the Colorado Wolverines as a PGF team franchise, is that we care about community as well. It's a big part of why I got on with him. I wouldn't be a part of this if I didn't believe that our mission was really to bring together Colorado gyms and to grow Colorado jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And to be able to highlight these gym owners like yourself, and we had Boris on, and there's a whole list of other ones we want to go to who are real hubs for the community. I've never felt unwelcome in your gym. And with your central location, you guys pull people from all over the place, man. And we really, wanted to touch base with you and hear your story, and to just let you know that, the Colorado Wolverines, man, like, we want to be that kind of thing where, like, obviously, of course, everybody competes against each other. I mean, Caleb Crump and Anakin just went 1-1 against each other at Naga yesterday.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But
sure,
we're all friends. I mean, they're good friends, but what we're trying to do more is to kind of Colorado sharpen iron for us to more win on those bigger stages, and for everybody to kind of, come together and bridge gaps and train together and grow together. Because it doesn't really matter who wins the local Naga. I feel like that's kind of a thing in the past, whereas now it's more important that everybody can train together and see if one of us Colorado boys can punch all the way through an ADCC trial and make the big show. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
And that's the kind of stuff we're trying to foster with the Colorado Wolverines. It kind of feels like, you're
Warned you.
you're the kind of gym owner who kind of believes in that same kind of mission.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we used to say this in MMA all the time. Like, nobody cares who the best fighter in Colorado is. We're trying to be the best fighter in the world. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
look, I understand gym owners not wanting to get their students poached from other gyms or whatever. But even that, dude, like, if I have students that cross train, good. I want that, man. Like, you have to believe in your product enough, and believe in your culture enough to know that it's safe to let people, you're not trying to be that dude that won't let his chick go out or something because he thinks she's gonna run away or something like
Yeah,
that. But even more specifically, with our elite competitors, we have to be building rooms where they are training together often, right? Often. And that's easy to do. Like, let's say you take the top 20 guys in Colorado and you want them training together. Okay, so let's pick 3 neutral mats, and each of us hosts one, and or whatever that looks like. And because that's the only way it happens, man. You don't, when the guys are afraid to go train in a different room because this, that, or the other, man, it's just, you're not going to get there,
Yeah, brother, it's hilarious. I mean, how much our viewpoints are so similar. I've had other teams in the PGF where they won't let their guys train at other gyms and train with other teams, and I'm like,
Yeah.
brother, I'm bringing these guys out here for 7 weeks in Vegas, and hey, I got it. I'm putting them up in Airbnb. I'm paying them, to compete, and yada yada yada. I got it. I'm doing things with them, but I'm not giving them life-changing money. I mean, this is an opportunity for them to sharpen themselves, to get better. And man, please go train where the heck you want. Go to 10th Planet Las Vegas, and like, good Lord, learn from Andy and Casey Hallstead. I mean, go wherever you want in this place, because you said you're just going to bring it back, and you're just going to make everyone else better. Come on. It ain't hard,
Yep.
Yeah, man. And I always, whenever it comes to students, and I guess the same with competitors, I always like to think of my hands full of sand. If I start squeezing the sand, I might not drop the sand in my hand, but my hands aren't going to overflow. You know what I mean? And like, I think it's just foolish to try to do that, especially with athletes, man. Athletes can feel that, and it doesn't feel good. No athlete likes some coach who's like, "Hey, you can't go over there. You got to stay here with us." Like, why? Why? You know what I mean? Like, makes no sense. And I mean, so I would just say, if you're training in Colorado and you want to come train with us especially on Saturdays, but there's a few sessions that Avery runs where we allow anyone to come in. Nobody's going to hassle you. Nobody's going to try to force you to sign up. Nobody's going to beat you up because you're from a different room. we'd love to have you. Come help sharpen my guys. We need it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Love it.
100% co-sign that, man. Not only on the Saturday, I've come to Avery's 12 o'clock noon classes. Always welcome. They've got a shower. That's a huge deal. And just a real good room and very inviting. Yep.
No,
Nobody's ever tried to force me to sign up or anything like that.
Super impressive facility too. I mean, you filled it with amazing people, but like, man, you go in there and like, wow, this is really nice. I mean, obviously I've been all over like you. Well, not I've been in all the places you have, but I've been in lots of places in this country, and I'm going to say that your facilities, top notch, 100%.
Thanks. And I would just say this one more time. Like, I wish I could take credit for all that, but the staff that we have, the team that we have, my wife does everything behind the scenes. Like, place doesn't exist without her, right? So all of those people, they make that place that special. The students, the community, even the visitors, man. The visitors that come and have the right attitude and are cool. Like, I wish I could take credit for that. I definitely am watching over it, and I take that responsibility very seriously, whether I enjoy it or not. But I can't take credit for how cool it is, man. It's all of them. I swear it is.
Egg, did you have anything else?
No, I was going to say that's huge, and again, that shows the quality individual you are. That you spread the goodwill and the appreciation, and again, that's speaks highly of you, Cody. I'm looking really forward to getting out to Colorado when Donald moves me out there in July once I retire.
Shout out Integrity Moving.
There we go. Shout out Integrity Moving. Gonna be handling the Eggheads household. So we can finally get home after 20 years. But I'm really looking forward to really get to know you more. Again, you've been freaking amazing, and I'm so excited to get to know you. Are there any? Maybe we should start asking this, because we're doing a gym owner series. Because as Donald said, our touchstone for the Wolverines is he's gonna hit me with it in like 2 seconds. He likes to do the Shatner pause and then mess with me. I know you are, CJ. I know it. He's giggling behind us. I know it. But anyways, so our touchstone is elevating Colorado athletes, spotlighting the Colorado gyms and the Colorado businesses. I mean, that's as long as we always come back to that as the heart of things, we will not go wrong. And so, talking to you has been amazing. I mean, man, it's wild. Again, I'm excited to get to know you more, but who would you nominate of other gym owners? You're the third we've had on here, but who's the next couple we should have on that you think?
I mean, I think you should have in Colorado Jiu-Jitsu. If you didn't have Elliot Marshall on, you wouldn't be painting an accurate picture of Colorado Jiu-Jitsu, right? The Elliot has more students than all of us combined. They're probably sitting at around. I mean, if I was just guessing, I'd say they have 10,000 students or something. But and some strong competitors, and they're out there making a big difference in the community with martial arts. So if I was going to highlight a guy and recommend a person, also just a man that I've learned a ton from in the martial arts business, high altitude martial arts would not exist the way it is today without Easton training centers. There is no way around that, right? We had a long relationship with them. I learned so much of the way I do business was learned from them, and I would highlight Elliot, man. He'd be a great guest. He speaks well, and he's a wealth of knowledge, and he was along for that whole journey that I just talked about. I mean, I'd go with Elliot.
Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to it. I mean, Donald, we've been going, and I appreciate you, being so giving of your time, Cody. We've been going on for more than an hour. Donald, what have I missed? What have we missed here?
Oh man, I don't even know. I mean, what a fascinating conversation. I mean that, Cody. Thank you so much, Coach, for coming on and sharing those stories with us. It's so funny how it works, right? I've known you, for going on 3 years now, and you never think to ask people this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you just show up and you train and you see people in the room, but it's what an awesome honor to be able to sit here and learn that stuff about you. And thank you, thank you for sharing. I can't really think of anything that we really didn't touch on, although I'd love to get you on again sometime. We can elaborate more on some things.
Well, after we get a HAMA, some more HAMA guys on the team after next season, maybe we'll just, give a little back brief on how they did, or have you out to the PGF itself and get you on one of the couches, and that'd be pretty amazing, go. I think.
That'd be fun. Count me in.
It's not UFC, Cody, but man, what an experience! I got to go to this last season. It was so cool, man.
Dude, it looked cool. I'm in. Let's go. Yeah, that looks super fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, congratulations on that military career, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's like I said, I'm just excited to be by family again. Just tired of moving. Love you, Donald. Love the movers out there that taking care of me, but good Lord, I'm tired of it. I just want to come back to Colorado and be done with that whole thing. But again, thank you so much for this time. Basically, I'm gonna wrap it up. You guys can go back into the green room, if you will. It'll take me like 2 seconds to wrap up, and I'll usually talk a little bit back behind there. But Cody, I'm sorry. Is there anything else that you wanted to share that we did not get to, or any partnerships you need to talk about, or anything like that?
No, man. You guys, I got the gift of gab, dude. You guys let me talk. I like sharing. So yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And CJ, I'll wrap this up, and then we'll talk a little bit on the background.
Hold on 1 second. Wolverines.
CJ.
Oh, I thought we were gonna do it.
There you go. Again, he like when you think you're in control, that's when he does that to you. He does that pause. Just like, oh no, you're not controlling me. I'm the producer. That's the CJ move right there.
Nice.
I mean, he wouldn't let you just say Wolverines and then give it to you immediately. He has to wait a second and then. Or maybe his internet's bad. I don't know. It's starting to. Hey, everyone out there! Hey, welcome, new co-host Donald. Integrity moving, but also integral to the Wolverines. And without Donald, we would not be here. And such a great person to talk to. And again, a force behind us and jiu-jitsu in Colorado. So thank you, Donald. Yeah, check him out there. But yeah, we've been going for a while, so let's wrap it up. Hey guys, we all can't have 20-pound brains, but I'll do what I can to help you out with that. See you next week.